So the more you believe that whatever you have in your mind is true or real, the less present you will be, and the more you will suffer. We are living in a dream world. It's like we are sleepwalking. We are dreaming while being awake. When we learn to not live in the mental dimension as much, we will notice ourselves not suffering nearly as much as we used to do. What I have been seeking in the future is just a place for me to be like, I'm fine here. There's always a challenge in staying present, I have realized. Presence is hard to maintain in today's world because we are being bombarded by things that we think is going to give us lasting fulfillment and contentment from the external world. It could be like a new car or the next paycheck or a new job that we've been looking forward to. We think that when we have attained something, then we will finally learn to just be, then we can rest, right? You know, this saying that I'll rest when I'm dead, right? It's so common in today's world that we think that somehow resting and being present and just enjoying where we're at instead of looking forward to the next all the time is somehow detrimental. That is supposed to be something that is bad. But yet we're longing for this complete sense that I am fine no matter what. I'm worthy, I belong, I can rest here, I'm fine, right? That's why most of us look forward to retirement, because we think that is the time when we can allow ourselves to just be. The problem is that if we don't learn to just be, we won't even be able to do that during retirement. We will still be in this never-ending chase for something in the future all the time, looking forward to the weekend or looking forward to the next beer or looking forward to summer vacation, even though we're tired, you know? So one thing that I have learned, which is extremely efficient in learning to stay present, is, and you probably most likely heard this before, but it's as simple as just being grateful. And the interesting thing with gratitude is that we don't necessarily need to be grateful towards anything in particular. All we have to do is to learn what the sensation or the vibration of gratitude feels like in the body. The reason why gratitude and presence go hand in hand is because when we are fully present, we feel grateful, we feel content, right? If you remember a time when you felt completely present, when you weren't looking forward to anything particular in the future, you will most likely have felt a sense of gratitude and contentment there in the now. Because when we are present, gratitude arises effortlessly. Gratitude is a byproduct of presence. And so if we practice gratitude, it's like taking the back door into presence. We're literally using the mind to trick itself into detaching from itself and resting as presence. So by simply reminding ourselves what gratitude feels like, we will be present straight away. I'm gonna also show you right now the difference between being present and what it's like to be occupied by thought. But I want you to imagine a car in your mind. If you see a car in your mind, a red car, at the same time though, as you're listening to me here, you're watching the screen, you're aware of that you are sitting maybe in front of the computer or holding a phone in your hand and you're listening to my words and you see me talking and you're aware of your surroundings. At the same time as you hold that car in your mind, the red car. Now, the more you identify with the car, the more you believe that the car is real, the more you're focusing on the car in your mind, the less present you will be, and the more you will suffer. You can obviously swap the car for things that you need to do tomorrow, like worries and regrets of the past, or your mind is going back and forth from the past to the future all the time. So the more you believe that whatever you have in your mind is true or real, the less present you will be and the more you will suffer. However, what I said before, the more you pay attention to that you are here, you are looking out through your eyes, you're listening to my voice, you're holding a phone in your hand or you're sitting in front of a desk or a computer, the more present you will be. So the more you focus, this flies here, the more you focus on whatever you have right here, right now, instead of focusing on the things that you need to do tomorrow or what you have done in the past, or focusing on the car in your mind, the more you will be in the present moment. And if you focus on the mind, the more you will suffer. Does that make sense? That's the difference between being present and being occupied by thought. And the more we walk around and believe that all of these things that we have in our mind is true or real, the more we will suffer. For example, you cannot touch the things that you have in your mind. Say that you have to pay the bills, deadline tomorrow, right? You cannot touch that. It's not real. It's not true. Like, it is true that it refers to a situation perhaps, and that you have to pay the bills to not be late. That's true. But you cannot touch those things. And sometimes we walk around and rehearse our worries and our problems or perceived problems and the things that we think that we need to do or things that we have done in the past. We walk around and rehearse these things even though they have nothing to do with the present moment at all. Right? This is what most of us do all the time. We walk around and we are stuck in the dream. We are living in a dream world. It's like we are sleepwalking. We are dreaming while being awake. We are identifying with the car. We have images in our mind that we identify with. We believe that we are these things. Let's say that I have a story on repeat with a specific image telling me that I am unworthy of love or success. And I will walk around and believe that this is real or true. But it has nothing to do with the external world. It doesn't exist. It's just imagined. It's your fantasy that you have decided what to believe in, really. There's a part of you who wants to believe these stories. There's a part of you who wants to hold on to these stories because it's familiar. Even though they make you suffer, even though they make you think that you are unworthy, there's a part of you who wants to believe that. Otherwise, you wouldn't believe that about yourself, right? So that is the difference between being present and being occupied by the mind. Believing that whatever thoughts we have, the car, that those things are real or true. And so with gratitude, what we're doing is that we anchor ourselves in the present moment. So when we feel grateful, we will slow the mind down from going to the future or going to the past or thinking that we need to do something or thinking that we are unworthy, anything like this. With gratitude, we anchor ourselves in the present moment. So if we can just simply remind ourselves, this is a question that I always ask myself, not so much anymore because for me it's become automatic, walking around and feeling grateful for no reason whatsoever. But a question to ask ourselves is, what does gratitude feel like? What does gratitude feel like again? When gratitude is present in my body, what does that feel like? What happens in my body when I feel gratitude? For me, there's a sensation around my heart, like an expansion around my heart. It's not contracting, it's expansive. It's a releasing type of energy. It's opening up to what is. It's an allowing type of energy. I allow things to be exactly as they are. And I feel slight tingles in my chest area with gratitude, going up towards my throat area. And I become fully present. When I have gratitude in my body, I immediately become more aware of my surroundings, like what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling. I become more in my body. I become more present within myself. And the thing here is that when we become more present in the body, we will not think about the future, because thoughts about the future, worries about the past, and all of these things that make us suffer, they are stuck in the mind, right? You cannot regret anything with your foot or with your hand, right? You cannot worry. Your body is never worrying. It's your mind that is worrying about things that your body responds to, right? So with gratitude, we find ourselves more present inside of our own body. We're entering the physical dimension. And I'm actually talking about this in my meditation video. So if you haven't seen that video, click the whatever link up here and you'll see that video as well, because I'm talking about meditation and what you can do to take yourself deeper into this type of physical dimension that I'm talking about, getting deeper into the body. And so when we learn to not identify with the mind so much and not live in the mental dimension, also that I mentioned in this meditation video, when we learn to not live in the mental dimension as much, we will notice ourselves not suffering nearly as much as we used to do. So when we learn to just tap into gratitude and do that as often as possible, we can almost like use it as a positive trigger. You know, you can put like a reminder on your phone, or you can have like a gratitude wallpaper or something to remind you whenever you're looking at that, remind yourself, oh, what does gratitude feel like again? And when you bring yourself into gratitude, you will immediately bring yourself into the present moment as well. And so that is a very efficient technique that I have both applied in my own life and also that I'm teaching my clients that I work with. And if you're interested in coaching, by the way, click the first link in the description. We can have a chat and maybe we can work together. Because this is what my number one passion is. I love taking people into this because it is revolutionizing. It will transform your life. It works, but we have to do the work to be able to get ourselves into that space. So if you're interested, click the first link and we can have a chat and see if we can work together. So when we anchor ourselves in the present moment, like I said, we are not going to redirect our energy outward. We're not going to be looking externally for pleasure. We're not going to be looking externally for things that we think is going to give us fulfillment. Because we realize that with gratitude, I have everything that I have always thought for in the future. What I have been seeking in the future is just a place for me to be like, I'm fine here. I'm content. I don't need anything, right? And so with gratitude, that is the exact sensation that we will feel. And in that, we will feel present at the same time. So if you're present, you will feel grateful. And if you're grateful, you will be present. So this is something that I have applied into my own life. And whenever I started doing this type of practice, like I said, I don't suffer as much. I'm not looking for happiness in the future because I realized that what I have been seeking is I am that. I am the goal and I have always been the goal. But it obviously takes a little bit of effort and consistency. That's why I suggested you to put that like a screensaver or like a wallpaper on your phone, because that way you'll create this positive trigger of, what does gratitude feel like again? Because when you ask that question, that's like an open question. You allow gratitude to just present itself without necessarily you needing to direct it towards anything in particular. I really hope that you're going to find some value out of this practice, as much as I have been in my own life. I know that this works, but like I said, it takes a little bit of time, a little bit of consistency, and a little bit of conscious reminding that whenever you are out in the world, just remind yourself, what does gratitude feel like again? And tap into that as often as possible. And I can promise you that your life is going to change. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe. I'm trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers. Don't forget to like and comment as well. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.